Autism Spectrum Disorders by Laurel Jeffries. Welcome to Holland by Emily Pearl Kingsley, copyright 1987. This was written after she had been asked how to describe the experience of raising a child with a disability. She wanted to try to help people who had not shared that unique experience to understand it, to imagine how it would feel. It's like this. When you're going to have a baby, it's like planning a fabulous vacation trip to Italy. You buy a bunch of guidebooks and you make your wonderful plans. The Colosseum, the Michelangelo David, the gondolas in Venice. You may learn some handy phrases in Italian. It's all very exciting. After months of eager anticipation, the day finally arrives. You pack your bags and off you go. Several hours later, the plane lands. The stewardess comes in and says, "Welcome to Holland." Holland, you say. What do you mean Holland? I signed up for Italy. I'm supposed to be in Italy. All my life I've dreamed of going to Italy. But there's been a change in the flight plan. They've landed in Holland and there you must stay. The important thing is that they haven't taken you to a horrible, disgusting, filthy place full of pestilence, famine, and disease. It's just a different place. So you must go out and buy new guidebooks, and you must learn a whole new language, and you will meet a whole new group of people you would never have met. It's just a different place. It's slower paced than Italy, less flashy than Italy. But after you've been there for a while and you catch your breath, you look around, and you begin to notice that Holland has windmills, and Holland has tulips. Holland even has Rembrandts. But everyone you know is busy coming and going from Italy, and they're all bragging about what a wonderful time they had there. And for the rest of your life you will say, "Yes, that's where I was supposed to go. That's what I had planned." And the pain of that will never, ever, ever, ever go away, because the loss of that dream is a very, very significant loss. But if you spend your life mourning the fact that you didn't get to Italy, you may never be free to enjoy the very special, the very lovely things about Holland. Autism spectrum disorders. ASD affect 1 in 91 children. ASD affects boys 3 to 4 times more often than girls. The cause of ASD is unknown. Autism Society is the other one that I went to that I found very. Autism Speaks University. I found this on Facebook, and this is at the university that 8 autism assumptions, fact or fiction. There is an autism epidemic, fiction. Autism is becoming more common as a diagnosis, but that's partly because we've gotten better at diagnosing it. We can now spot high-functioning individuals with an ASD. Also in the past, autism was frequently missed in people with intellectual disabilities. Now we know these disabilities often go hand in hand with autism. Research shows that there is increase in the number of children with an ASD, but it's not a true epidemic. Bad parents cause autism. Fiction. Push the thought out of your mind. It is unhelpful and untrue. Autism is a non-neurodevelopmental disorder. There is so much research documenting differences in brain structure, development, and processing for people with autism. We still have a lot to learn about autism, but we do know parents do not cause it. Siblings of children with autism have a higher chance of being diagnosed. Fact, when one child in a family has autism, there is an 18% higher chance that the first sibling will be diagnosed than in the typical population. When 2 children in a family have autism, the third child is 32% more likely to have it too. Childhood vaccines cause autism. Fiction. Andrew Wakefield made this claim in 1998 and it spread, but his research was never replicated. In 2010, he was charged by a panel with dishonesty in his research and abuse of developmentally challenged children. There is no scientific support to the idea that vaccines cause autism. Genetics play a part in autism. Fact, as many as 1,000 different genetic changes may affect how brain cells communicate in people with autism. More research is needed, but these changes may be tied to important chemicals in the brain such as serotonin, which plays a big role in mood and happiness, or to the actual brain structure, among other possibilities. Autism can be cured. Fiction. As tough as it is to hear, autism is a lifelong disorder. However, people with autism can live productive, meaningful lives. Children who are identified early and receive intervention, such as applied behavior analysis, may have excellent outcomes. Their symptoms change over time as they develop and respond to intervention. Families can learn ways to support their child's progress. People with autism are lifelong learners, much like the rest of us. Special diets can cause autism or can cure autism. Fiction. There are many anecdotes about diet affecting autism, but research doesn't support the idea. Children with autism who have food allergies or digestive issues do benefit from special diets, much like typical children with these issues. However, be sure to talk with your doctor before trying any new diet. Parents are not to blame. That is a fact. And the facts are, what is autism? Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, and autism are both general terms for a group of complex disorders of brain development. These disorders are characterized in varying degrees by difficulties in social interaction, verbal and nonverbal communication, and repetitive behaviors. ASD can be associated with intellectual disability, difficulties in motor coordination and attention, and physical health issues such as sleep, gastrointestinal disturbances. Some persons with ASD excel in visual skills, music, math, and art. We now know that there is no one cause of autism, just as there is no one type of autism. Over the last 5 years, scientists have identified a number of rare gene changes or mutations associated with autism. A small number of these are sufficient to cause autism by themselves. Most cases of autism, however, appear to be the cause of a combination of autism risk genes and environmental factors influencing early brain development. Vanderbilt University research. Parenting stress. High levels of parenting stress and depressive symptoms have been found in mothers and fathers raising a child with ASD. Children's delay or deficits in social skills is the most consistent predictor of parenting stress. Mothers are especially affected by children's difficulty with self-regulation skills. Circumscribed interest, CI, are the very specialized interests a child with autism spectrum disorder may have. Examples of CI for children with autism are objects, machines, and dinosaurs. CI in children with autism in social situations is seen as problematic. The restrictive interest can limit the ability of a child to learn and to fit in with classmates. Implications for understanding influence in relationships. States with autism insurance mandates. There's 34 states and the District of Columbia. Insurance companies are required to cover autism treatments. Only 24 states and DC have applied the same requirement to policies that will be sold on their insurance exchanges under the Affordable Care Act. I live in Iowa. Can you find the state where you live? Medicaid spending. Families who lived in states with greater levels of Medicaid spending for children with disabilities incurred fewer expenses. That was in actual dollar amounts and then relative to the family income for their children with autism. In recent years, research and federal funding has emphasized the identification of early warning signs of ASD in infants and toddlers with or at risk for the disorder. The goal has been to identify behavioral or psychological indicators occurring early in children's development that reliably predict the onset of the disorder. Earlier identification will allow children to receive an earlier diagnosis and more timely access to early intervention services. Cultural barriers. Cultural factors influence the resources available to children with disabilities. In some cultures, education is available to all children, regardless of disability. In other cultures, that right is challenged by those who believe it is a waste of money to spend resources on those with disabilities, especially when non-disabled children might go without education. In some societies, a child with severe disability is not expected to survive, and so it seems reasonable in these cultures to allocate scarce resources of medical care and parental attention to their healthier children. This cultural expectation often becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The cultural and spiritual background of a family plays a role in the beliefs parents hold with regard to causes of human disability and the possible life outcomes for their children. Strategies for building reciprocal relationships. Autism and learning. The overview, diagnosis and learning, key elements to a successful education and additional research. Video by Kira M. This was published on January 25th, 2014. So I kind of made this video slideshow thing for Cassandra Kubinski's song Not So Different, which was written for her friend whose children have autism. Some of the proceeds from buying the song on iTunes go to Autism Speaks, an organization that helps spread autism awareness and acceptance. This is kind of an important cause for me because I have high-functioning autism, Asperger's syndrome. So yeah, Not So Different belongs entirely to Cassandra Kubinski, not me. I just bought the song on iTunes. The pictures were mostly found on Google Images. Kira M. And then the reply from Cassandra Kubinski on YouTube. Kira, this is beautiful. Thank you so much for posting it. Such beautiful, joyful images. I personally purchased this song on January 19th, 2014.
I can be sunshine, even when all you see is rain. I can be silence. Inside I'm calling out your name. Words don't come easy, but I hear everything you say. Reach out and touch me. I need to feel your heart today.
Lessons learned. Resources are available. If parents have concerns, they should speak with their doctor. Keep voicing your concerns. Ask your child's teacher if he or she has noticed any developmental delays. Seek help from your local early intervention program. Research autism through reputable websites. Sites that end in .org, .edu, .gov usually have reliable information. References.